Hi friends, welcome back to Teaching in Room 9, our region's largest classroom. My name is Julia and I'm one of the second grade teachers at the Soulard School. But here for Teaching in Room 9, I focus all my lessons on math for second graders, but everyone's always encouraged to join. Welcome back, friends. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here together with me. Couldn't be happier to be here with you, and I'm really excited for us to be able to do some more learning here together. So before we get started, we always start our lessons with our mindful minute activity. We always practice mindfulness at the beginning of our lesson, so that way I know that you will feel focused, calm, centered, and ready to learn here together. So just like we did yesterday, friends, we're gonna take some deep, mindful breaths here together. And then as we are doing those deep breaths, I'm going to talk to you about two different strategies that you might be able to use the next time you feel these really big feelings starting to come on. All right, so we're going to start by taking those deep breaths. So sit up nice and straight and tall, shoulders back so that you can really open up your airways, get those deep breaths in. Try to release any tension you might be feeling in your body. And take a deep breath in through your nose, counting to 3, and out through your mouth, counting to 3. Okay, let's begin. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Nice job, friends. Keep taking those deep breaths here together. I'm going to talk to you about something called feeling your heartbeat. So the next time you start to feel really overwhelmed or you start to go into that yellow or red zone of regulation and you need to kind of recenter your body, I invite you to try to feel your heartbeat. So this might be using 2 fingers on your opposite wrist. You might put your hand on your neck. That's a good spot to feel your heartbeat. Or you might put your hand on your chest. Okay, and as you are feeling your heartbeat, focus on that heartbeat while you are breathing slowly in and out, just like we're doing together here. I even encourage you, friends, to, if you're trying this strategy, to then, after you've felt your heartbeat as you're taking those slow, deep breaths, try doing like 20 jumping jacks and then feel your heartbeat again. Naturally, your heartbeat will have increased, but then you can really slow down and focus on your breathing as you're breathing in and out, and then you'll feel your heartbeat begin to regulate. It's a really good exercise. It helps you to feel present in the moment, and it also really shows you how much control you have over your own body. Another strategy that you might do is something called breathing a rainbow. So again, just taking those really deep breaths in and out through your nose and then breathing out through your mouth. And think of your favorite color. My favorite color is the color green. So as I'm taking those deep breaths in and out, you can begin imagining or visualizing items in the world that are green. There's so much green around us in the world. So I might be seeing mountains or hills lined with trees. Maybe I'm in a park where there's bushes and grass all around me. And just taking 3 or so minutes to really take those deep breaths and breathe out and be thinking and focusing on my favorite color. All right, so hopefully those activities were helpful to you. You feel confident and being able to really feel your heartbeat, take those deep breaths and recognize as your heartbeat slows down, and really breathing out those different colors and visualizing things in your world around you that might be your favorite color. Also thinking of your favorite color is going to bring you peace and clarity and help you to feel more regulated. Nice job, friends. All right, we're gonna jump into our learning objective for this week. all of our lessons this week are based around the objective of I can add or subtract two-digit problems with regrouping using different strategies to solve. Last week, we did addition subtraction without regrouping using these same 4 strategies. Now this week, we are focusing on regrouping and using a different strategy each day, the same 4 that we did last week. Yesterday, we did base 10 blocks where we drew out both add-ins. And then we had to count our ones. All of these problems here are based around this equation, 68 plus 37. So then we realized that once we counted our ones, we had more than 10. So we regrouped and drew another 10. And then we saw how many were left over, which were these 5 up here. And then counted those 5, counted our 10s, and it gave us the sum of 105. Today, we are going to focus on expanded form. And again, expanded form is when you expand out the number to show the value of each place. So we can see our steps to solve are right here to the side. It says number 1, expand both add-ins. So starting with 68, there are 6 10s, and 6 10s are a value of 60. So we wrote out 60 here. And then we have 8 1s. And in expanded form, we always use that plus sign to show that if we add the value of 6 10s, which is 60, to our 8 1s, it would give us that number of 68. Then 37, there are 3 10s, which are a value of 30. So we wrote out 30. And then those 7 1s, always using our plus sign to show that if we add the value of the 10s and the 1s together, we get that number of 37. And then step 2 is to solve vertically. So we always start with our 1s, and 7 plus 8 gives us a sum of 15. And then we added the value of our 10s. 60 plus 30 gave us a total of 90. So now we have 90 plus 15. So then we add 90 and 15 together, which you can see it written out here in pink. And then we get that total of 105 for our sum. So we're gonna go ahead and practice that same strategy here together. So we'll get rid of our chart. We'll come back to that tomorrow to use a new strategy to solve. All right, so I mentioned yesterday that we are focusing on a different poll each day for our favorite Thanksgiving foods. Yesterday was turkey versus stuffing. Today, we're going to focus on a poll of what is your favorite Thanksgiving food? Mashed potatoes and gravy or cranberries? Maybe you really love cranberries or really love mashed potatoes. I actually am not a big mashed potato person, so I actually prefer cranberries to mashed potatoes. You can give a me too if that's the same for you. But I bet a lot of friends probably prefer mashed potatoes. Okay, so we had 24 friends that chose cranberries in our poll. And again, I want you to be writing this at home so that you're able to solve with me. And then I know that you will understand even better as we work through this problem together. All right, so if you've got paper and pencil ready to roll, go ahead and write out that number, 24. 24 people liked cranberries the best. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and draw it out in base 10 because base 10 will help me to understand what I need to use for our expanded form. So how many 10s are in the number 24? Shout it out for me nice and loud, friends. Yes, 2 10s, let's draw it out. 10, 20, and then how many 1s? Yes, you got it, 4 1s. Go ahead and draw out your 4 1s with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice job. Okay, so we've got 2 10s, and that is worth 10, 20. Nice job. And then we've got our 4 1s. So what would our expanded form be? You guys are amazing. If you said 20 plus 4, you nailed it. 24 our 10s, 10, 20, that's our value of our 10s, plus the value of our 1s, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now in our poll, we had 38 friends that chose mashed potatoes. I kind of had a feeling that would be the more popular option. So go ahead and write out the number 38 on your paper at home. Okay, so now we want to solve for the sum. How many people did we ask in all at this Thanksgiving poll that we're doing today? All right, 38. How many 10s? Shout it out. Yes, nice job. 3 10s and 38. Draw it out with me, friends. Are you ready? 10, 20, 30. Nice job. Okay, now how many 1s do I have in 38? Yes, 8 1s. Nice job. I'm going to put them down here so that way I can stack my expanded form on top of each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so I've got 3 10s. What's the value of 3 10s? Yes, 30. So I'm going to write out 30 for our expanded form, plus, we always have those pluses, our 8 1s. All right, so now we have drawn out both of our add-ins in base 10, and that helped us to understand our expanded form. So now you have expanded form for both. Now I know the next step is we need to solve vertically. Vertically just means up and down. Okay, so we're gonna start with our 1s. 8 plus 4. Who knows what 8 plus 4 is? Yes, 8 plus 4 is 12. If you didn't know that, no worries. Let's go ahead and count them together. I'm gonna erase as we count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 for our 1s. Now, how much do we have for our 10s? Let's go ahead and count it together. So we're going to count by 10s. We're going to count these 3 and these 2. Are you ready? I'm going to erase as we go, okay? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Nice job. So 50 is the value of our 10s. And 12 is the value of our 1s. Sometimes, my friends, I had a second grader just this week that said, I just look at, when I'm solving 2 10s like that, or 2 numbers that end in 0, I look at 2 plus 3, I know is 5, and then I just carry that 0 down. So maybe that makes the most sense to you. All right, so now I've got 50 plus 12. What is 50 plus 12? If you said 62, you are absolutely correct, right? We've got 50 plus 10 is 60, plus another 2 equals 62. 62 people took our Thanksgiving poll all together. So our answer is 62. Amazing job, friends. Now, like always, we're gonna solve our second addition problem in our fact family. So get ready to go ahead and I'll erase you, find a blank spot on your page and get ready to do our next addition equation of our fact family. So the last time we started with how many people liked cranberries the most. This time we're gonna start with how many people liked mashed potatoes the most, which was 38. Go ahead and write 38 on your paper at home. All right, now we got to draw it out in our base 10 blocks. 38 has 3 10s. Are you ready to draw along with me? 10, 20, 30. And now how many ones do I need? You're really great at this, friends. 8 ones. Go ahead and draw them along with me. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can see really nice and easy now that 38 is 3 10s, 10, 20, 30, and 8 ones. So I'm going to go ahead and write our expanded form. Expanded form expands the number to show the value of each place. So for 38, it would be 30 plus 8. Always have to have that plus. All right, now it's time for my cranberry friends to figure out how many we have in all. And we know from just having done this, there were 12 friends that liked, no, I'm sorry, not 12. It was 24. 24 friends that liked cranberries the best. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw out 24 in our base 10 blocks, and that will help us figure out what we need for our expanded form. 24 has 2 10s. Go ahead and get ready and draw it with me. 10, 20. And now right down here, I'm going to do our ones so that way I can stack our expanded form and then we can solve vertically. 24 has 2 10s and 4 ones. You ready to draw? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 10s is 10, 20. So go ahead and write the value for our expanded form. 20 plus 1, 2, 3, 4 ones. All right, now we've got to add our ones and our 10s and then figure out what is our sum. So what is 8 plus 4? Okay, let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have a total of 12 for our ones. Now let's do our 10s. You ready? Count by 10s with me, friends. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Nice job. So now we've got our expanded form of our sum. We've got to put it together. 50 plus 12 is 62. 62 is our sum. Nice job, friends. All right, let's see what it looks like using expanded form, but this time we're going to subtract. We're going to solve for our subtraction equations. So now I've got to start with my sum, or my total number of people that took our Thanksgiving poll. All right, so we had a total of 62 people that we asked whether or not they preferred cranberries or mashed potatoes and gravy. 62. Go ahead and write out the number, 62. All right, I like to go ahead and draw the base 10 blocks so that way it helps me with our expanded form. So how many 10s are there in 62? Yes, 6 10s. All right, let's go ahead and draw them out. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 1, 2. All right, so let's go ahead and write out our expanded form. Would be 60 plus 2. All right, now I'm going to take away the number of people that liked cranberries the most, which was, again, 24. All right, so I need to take away 24. Let's review that subtraction poem again. So here is 62, that's our number on top, and we are taking away 24, that's our number on bottom. More on top, no need to stop. More on the floor, go next door and get 10 more. So that's what we have to do in this problem here, because 4 in our ones is bigger than 2. I can't take away 4 ones from only 2. But there is plenty of 10s. So we have to go next door and get 10 more. Okay, so we're going to turn this one here into the 10 individual ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We took that tens rod and we just chopped it up to be those 10 individual ones, because we know 1 10 equals 10 ones. All right, now we can go ahead and take away 24. I'm going to write it out in expanded form as well. We're taking away 20 plus 4. All right, now let's erase our 4 ones. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, how many ones do I have left? Let's go ahead and count them here together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 ones left over. All right, so and if we're looking at our expanded form here, I'm not able to take away 4 from 2. So I had to borrow a 10 from over here. So this 60 is now 50. And this 2 is now 12. So it's the same thing that we just did up here, but in our numbers. All right, now we have to take away our 2 10s. You ready? Let's do it together. 10, 20. I now have taken away 24. Okay, so how many 10s do I have left? Let's count. 10, 20, 30. Nice job. And here we can see that if we had 50 and we took away 20, it would give us 30 plus 8, which is 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 38. We had 62 people all together in our poll. Take away those cranberry friends, and it leaves us with our mashed potato friends. All right, it's time to do our very last one. I'm going to erase, erase, erase. You find a blank spot in your notebook. We're going to solve this last subtraction equation in our fact family here together. And then hopefully this will be making more sense to your brains, friends. All right, 62 is our total number of people that took our Thanksgiving food poll. Now, this time we are going to take away 38, which is how many friends like mashed potatoes, so that way we can figure out how many friends like cranberries the best. Okay, so we're going to start with 62. That's our total, and we have to draw it out in our base 10 blocks. So that way it helps us to understand a little bit better, because we're solving also using expanded form for this strategy. 62, shout it out. How many 10s? Yes, 6 10s. Let's draw them. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And how many ones? Shout it out. Oh, you're hurting my ears, friends. You're shouting so loud. 2 ones. Nice job. 1, 2. We've drawn out our total here. I'm going to write it out in expanded form as well. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 for the value of our 10s plus 2 ones. 1, 2. Okay, now we are going to take away that mashed potato friends so we can find out who are our cranberry friends left over. All right, so we're going to take away 38. 38 is 3 10s. 3 10s is worth how much? You got it. 30 plus our how many ones? Yes, 8 ones. Nice job. All right. So we're taking away 38. Okay. So again, our subtraction problem. More on the top, no need to stop. But I can already see more on the floor. We go next door and get 10 more. So I cannot take away 8 ones from only these 2 little ones, right? So I have to borrow from one of my 10s. One 10 is worth 10 ones. We know this. So I'm going to erase this one. We've taken this 10 and we've chopped it up into 10 individual ones. All right, I'm gonna start drawing them. Draw with me, friends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nice job, because you can see it here as well, friends. I can't take 8 from 2. I had to go next door and get 10 more. So I took a 10 from here and I turned it into 10 ones. So 60 is now 50. And 2, I now have a total of 10, 11, 12 ones. Nice work, friends. All right, now, can I take 8 from 12? Yes, I can take 8 from 12. 12 minus 8 is how much? Okay, let's do it together. We have 12 here. We're going to take away 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many am I left over? Yes, nice job. 4 ones. All right, now I've got to take away 30 for my 10s. So let's go ahead and count up to 30 as I erase those 3 10s. 10, 20, 30. I've now taken away 30 from 38 altogether. And how many am I left with? 10, 20. 50 minus 30 is 20. Ooh, that's a really big 0. 20 plus 4 is 24. So 62 minus 38, friends, that liked mashed potatoes gives us the difference of 24. Friends that liked cranberries the best. You guys are so amazing. You're doing such a fabulous job with this. Thanks for all your hard work, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Teaching in Room 9 is made possible with support of Bank of America, Dana Brown Charitable Trust, Emerson, and viewers like you.